Okay guys, time for my favorite part about con, which is the dealer's room and all of the cool items I picked up in and out of the dealer's room, because I also did do the autographs and things. Let me just say about the dealer's room, I wasn't entirely impressed with it this year. Of course, going back to the RL, it was a lot smaller. The dealer's room is about half the size as it was at the Embassy Suites. So the amount of vendors was a lot smaller. They had smaller booths than the year before, and I wasn't entirely pleased. I'm a magical girl. I like a lot of the magical girl animes and things, as well as I like my Gundams, and I like a lot of the fantasy ones. Big into things like Inuyasha, stuff like that. And I did not actually find a lot of merchandise this year that was related to those things. So I actually didn't buy a lot. I spent a lot of money, mostly because the items I was able to find were bigger items, so they did cost a lot more than last year, whereas I bought a lot of smaller items in the categories that I like to watch and mess with. I have a feeling a lot of that is because while we did have a lot of the same vendors that we've had in years past, they actually did not get as much space. The people who always have kigurumis in Embassy Suites, they got a huge, almost an entire aisle to just themselves. And it wasn't just kigus, they had all different kinds of stuff. They had half of it was all stuffed animals in their kigus, and then the other stuff was a bunch of the really small boxed figures, which they didn't actually have this year. So I picked up what I could get in the things that I enjoyed the most. And then I've got one item that Brandy bought me, and then I've got one that was a gift for Benjamin, who's my husband. So let me start with the most expensive item I bought, which was actually a kigu. I've been wanting a toothless kigu for a long time, and for the longest time, you could only get those kigus if they were handmade, which is great to support local businesses, but I never had the $150 to $200 to have a handmade kigu done for me. But now DreamWorks has partnered with Kigurumi Shop, and they've made their own toothless kigu, so I was able to pick it up for a little bit cheaper than having it custom made. Grab it over here. Have it hanging to avoid as much dog hair as possible. We have a husky, and if you have big fluffy dogs, I'm sure you understand. But he is super cute. Here's his little head. So this is the hat of the kigu. You can see it's got big ears, and it's even got his little side spikes here that are on the side of his head. And of course, it's got the little trail of spikes here made out of a thinner felt, and his gorgeous embroidered eyes. These are absolutely adorable eyes. Absolutely love them. If we look on the back here, if I can get them all straightened out, there we go. You can see that he's got his big old spikes that run down through most of his back. There's also his big wings, which are nice and big. These are huge. His tail is also included with the updated Vikings flag as the other half of his tail, which is kind of cool to see. And my favorite part that I could just not get over, besides it being toothless, are the paws for hands. It has the little pocket here where you can slide your hand out of it, but if you wanted your hand inside your kigu, you get little paws with individual little claws on it. So he's just super cute. He's super soft. He's made out of a really nice soft fleece. And he is very well built, so I'm very excited to have been able to spend the money on it, because obviously things like that get pricey. I'm trying to think of where to start otherwise. I got this for Ben. Charizard is actually Benjamin's favorite, and I just thought he was super cute. But favorite Pokemon, I should reiterate, Ben's got a lot of favorites of things like we all do. But he's got this cute, adorable little smile. He's got the wings that have the nice vinyl on the inside, as well as the vinyl on the tail for his fire. And I really like how the Japanese did the pulls on these. A lot of the US plushies, when they have the strings on top, they're actually just sewn into the top of the head. If you'll notice here, it's actually two separate holes, and the string is strung through. So it's actually pretty sturdy because the plushie itself is really sturdy. Not that I think my husband will go hang it up anywhere. It'll probably just sit on a shelf. But he's super cute and adorable, and I couldn't pass him up, so I picked him up for Benjamin on the last day. Speaking of little plushies, I carry a backpack with me at con, as I stated in a previous video. So I like to get the little keychain straps for to hang off of my backpack, sort of like an Ida bag, but not an Ida bag. And I picked up this little dinosaur. He's a little T-Rex. He's kind of a corally pink color. And then he's got vinyl on his white teeth to stand out. And he's just super cute and adorable, and I couldn't pass him up because he's a dinosaur, and dinosaurs are awesome. I also picked up another little dinosaur. He's a little smaller. He's a little orange pterodactyl. He's just super cute, and he's got little tiny wings. And look at his little feet. Little tiny pterodactyl feeties. So I just picked up a couple of those. This is actually the least amount that I've picked up plushie-wise at con before. So I did pick up some of those. I also picked up this guy. If you know me, you know I collect a lot of Sailor Moon things. This was the only one in the set I was missing, which was Sailor Moon herself. Kind of ironic. And I'm a very specific collector, so I actually don't have all of them, but the only ones I wanted was Princess Serenity, Tuxedo Mask, and regular Sailor Moon. So I finally was able to pick up a regular Sailor Moon cameo. This one was really cool. Brandy purchased this for me from one of the artists in the art part of the room, which is where I get most of my posters from. She makes double-sided keychains. Brandy picked up a couple gargoyle ones for herself, but for me, she grabbed this one because it was 3 for $25, which meant the second one, or the third one, was only $5. So she decided to save some money and get the third one. And on the back of it is Kagome. I'm big into Inuyasha. It's one of my faves. So I was totally thrilled in being able to get this from an artist. I can share with you here in a second the artist's information, since this one actually does have it on here. It's K Swain Illustration is their Etsy right here. K Swain Illustration. Their Tumblr and Twitter. Yep, Tumblr and Twitter are K Swain Art. So I really liked those. That was a neat little addition that they did with their booth, because normally they're just a comic section. So that was really cool. I also picked up this really neat PVC Trunks keychain from Funimation. He's just this cute little tiny Trunks. Trunks is my favorite Dragon Ball Z character, so of course I had to grab him. Now I have a story with these, and I'll show them to you once I get them situated. These are Inuyasha blind boxes. This is the first year I've actually, seen an Inuyasha blind box, because Inuyasha is an older anime, so you don't normally see a lot of things for it. But they now have the, I'm not sure if it's now or if these are actually a little older and they just brought them out to try to get rid of them at a con. But they now have grab boxes. Now you'll notice one's open on the top and on the bottom. Well, the place that I got this from, as well as little Charizard and the two big figures that I picked up, they have like these bins of small items that you can just rifle through. They're all brand new. They're all wrapped up. But you can like rifle through them and get them cheaper than other items because they've been pulled out of their packaging. This blind box had actually been popped open on its own when they received it and opened the box. So I went ahead and peeked at it because it was sitting in the bin and it was already open. And of course, it came with my favorite, Inuyasha. So I decided, you know, hey, I already have an Inuyasha, so I'm guaranteed that I at least got him. I'll grab two more, right? Thinking, you know, maybe I'll get someone cool like Moroku or Naraku, Kagome, Rin, somebody like that, or maybe even Kaguya on the other side. Someone cool, right? I'm sure people like these characters, but they're just not my thing. I ended up with Totosai, who made the swords, if you're familiar with Inuyasha, and Jokin, who is Sashomaru's little sidekick demon dude. To me, both characters are really annoying, and I don't prefer being around them, but I did get my Inuyasha first because I got lucky. He was in the blind box that was hanging out already opened, so that was cool. I also got El Hazard playing cards. Now, these I did not pay for. On the very last day of Nebkon, a lot of the vendors don't like to pack all of their stuff up and take it home with them because it's a hassle. Well, being VIP, we were the first ones in the room. Hip hip hooray. And one of the vendors was just handing these out because they didn't want to take the box of cards home. El Hazard is an anime. I'm sure it's probably a manga as well, but I do not have any of it, nor can I verify that because I've not looked it up. And I've never actually seen or read or anything about this anime, but I did look at the cards. You see mine's unopened. Brandy opened hers. I did take a look at the cards. They're actually pretty neat. The artwork on them is beautiful, so I'm looking forward to looking up the anime and learning more about it. I'm planning to watch it, so fingers crossed that that's the case. I also got a bust of Setsuna of Seiei. Now, if you're a Gundam fan and you've seen most of them, you'll know that he's from Gundam 00 or 00 or 00 or however you choose to say it. So I did get this guy. He is brand new, plastic wrapped. You'll notice he has a 25% off sticker. Well, I actually ended up picking him up on the very last day, so I got him half off of the $12.99. Super big steal. It is just the bust figure of Setsuna, but I was totally okay with that. I'm on the lookout for his Exia Gundam because the set actually clicks together. Each set comes with a little base, and you can click the bust onto the base of the Gundam and then have it together as like a little homage statue. My husband's really huge into Gundam. That's actually how I know a huge chunk of the Gundam series is. Not everything. I probably only know about 3 or 4, which really people say that's not a huge chunk, but for me that is. My husband doesn't watch all of them, so it's a big chunk compared to what he watches. So I was thrilled to get to pick it up. Setsuna of Seiei is actually my favorite in that series, so I was thrilled to find some merchandise for him. Can't wait to put them together later today because that's probably what I'm going to be spending my day doing since I already unpacked this morning. My 2 big figures that I picked up were the only 2 card captor items I found in the entire dealer's room. This is the lovely kitten version of Sakura, which is kind of difficult to see because you can kind of see the reflection of the camera in the background. But if you know this figure, it's this here. It's her in her kitty dress that Tomoyo puts her in. So it's from the Fuyu. Yep, Fuyu. Brand line thing of figures. I actually did a video not long ago, well, probably long ago, about the 2017 Fuyu statue. This is one of the older ones, so I was able to pick it up. Here's the back of the box in case you were curious, and this side's the exact same. So I did get this figure picked up, which was exciting because this is one of the ones that was on my list that I wanted, so I was able to grab her. And then, to go with it, I got the Happy Crown version, which is her yellow and white-ish dress that she's also seen wearing quite often, along with her crown. So I picked up her as well. She is also by Fuyu. So I was very thrilled to get to grab both of these. Both of these were ones that I wanted, and they are older figures, so when a lot of people try to resell their figures, they sell these for a lot more than what they were actually retailed for. So I actually got these relatively close to retail, so I was pretty thrilled with that process. Here's the back of the box in case you were curious. And then I did posters. I like to go through the artist hall, which is in the dealer's room as well. Which is stupid, by the way. If Nebkon staff, if you're watching this, I feel like the artist hall and the dealer's hall should be separate so that there is way more room in the dealer's room for vendors who are selling normal anime merchandise, and then there should be a place where the artists can sell their things as well. But anyway, I picked up this lovely poster, which is shirtless Kakashi, although he still has his mask, which is always a little disappointing. Everybody wants to know what's under that mask, right? But it is a very lovely print. It's done in like an older fashion style. My only downfall is that this is printed on actual photo paper instead of poster paper. So it did get a little bit of wrinkles and things in it from just walking around with it in my hand. I'm hoping a picture frame will help straighten all that out. And then I got 3 more posters, 2 autographs, and then the stuff that I got from the Nebkon staff for being VIP. So I got Cardcaptor Sakura. You'll see here she's all nice and cute and a lovely, looks like almost a queen outfit with her Sakura wand. And you'll see here with she's got little dolls in her arms of Tomoyo, Shaoran, Karaberos, and Yu. So just a cute little poster. I really enjoyed this one. Cardcaptor, magical girly things are my favorite, so big surprise, right? Another big favorite of mine, which I was kind of thrilled to see there, was Kenshin Imura. You'll notice that he has his high ponytail, so this is back in his Batosai days, not when he's a Rurouni running around. And you'll see that he's got a bleeding scar here, so it's just right after he got his scar. It's a very neat piece of artwork. This artwork does have a signature on it, in case you were curious. See if I can get it to show here. So there is a signature type watermark on this one, which is very cool. I suppose there is one on Sakura, but it's very small. Here, real quick, just so I can credit the artists. There's this one here. You can see it real small right up there. Kakashi didn't have one, so I'm not sure what the artist is on that one, but this was a very cool piece. My husband and I are obsessed with Rurouni Kenshin and Samurai X, so it was neat to, sorry, the cat's jumping around acting funny. So it was neat to get this poster as well. We don't see a lot of Rurouni Kenshin things either. I saw one cosplayer as Rurouni Kenshin on Saturday, and that was it, which is unfortunate because it's such a good anime and manga series. Whoops, upside down. And then last but not least, I had to pick up this one from Sailor Moon. I actually had this as the background on my phone for a little while, and then I saw it at con and of course had to pick it up. It does have a, I assume, an artist watermark on it as well. I'm not entirely positive because, as always, when it comes to names and things can get jumbled with prints. But you'll notice that it's a beautiful background with the gorgeous earth in the background. Yes, that is the earth, because you'll notice that they're on the moon. Here's the Moon Kingdom. And then standing here looking out over top of everything is King Endymion, Mini Moon, and Neo Queen Serenity. So it's just this really nice, beautiful, I love all the gorgeous colors in it. Absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. I can't wait to get them hung up. I'm planning to put all of my posters and things in my new cosplay room that we're hoping to start building soon. We have most of the materials. Just got to get motivation. So here is, like I promised in the last video, this year's booklet that they handed out that had everything in it, all of the different convention information and all, like, it's basically a giant schedule book. I love getting these every year. I actually sort of kind of collect them because the art on them is always gorgeous. This year's theme was To the Stars, and I think the artwork that they chose was friggin' fantastic. Here's an unmarked lighter copy on the back so you can kind of see all the different details without the writing on front of it. I did not get my planner signed at all. If you were to run into Brandy, she actually had her planner signed instead of anything specific because she's not, it wasn't anybody that she was excited for. Necessarily, we really went for signatures because I wanted them, and I always want signatures. So last year, I didn't take a lot of merchandise to get signed, but this year I actually took two things. Besides that, I got Erica Lindbog's signature. She was there. To be honest with you, most of the panels or the guests this year were all from Ruby's, and I've never seen Ruby or Persona 5 or any of that kind of stuff. I haven't played the game or anything. So a lot of the signatures for me was just to get them because I was already in line for somebody else. Like, I also got Kyle McCarley's, who he signed them very corner, and he's like, oh, I guess everybody's just signing one page. I could have made it bigger. He was funny to speak with. But I only got those two instead of the other 3 Ruby guests that we had as well. More so because, like I said, I've never seen Ruby. So while there were a lot of people excited, and that's great because Ruby is a huge anime, I've been told, I've not personally seen it. I did, however, take my Professor Tomoe card, which I showed in a previous video, and had Keith Silverstein sign it for me. I was very excited walking into Keith Silverstein's line because last year we got to meet him as well, and I didn't have anything for him to sign at the time. So he just signs that book that I just showed you. He actually recognized me from last year. And I was a VIP last year, and I know there weren't as many of us, but he actually called me out by name, knew what I was wearing last year as my cosplay. So it was very cool to have someone with such a big name like that, who's been in dozens and dozens of animes and video games and stuff like that. My husband was very thrilled. He played a lot of characters in Skyrim. He did the voice acting for him. So I was actually thrilled that he knew me by name when I walked up to his table. Professor Tomoe, as you know, is, if you don't know, is a villain in Sailor Moon S, which is the 3rd season of Sailor Moon. And I was very excited when I walked up to the table and handed him the card and asked him to please sign it for me. He said he had never had anyone ask him to sign a card before. So I was first, or a Professor Tomoe card anyway. He had never seen one before. I told him that it was the Japanese version, straight out of Japan, so that they weren't as common here in the United States. But I wanted him to sign it anyway because it is Professor Tomoe, and how cool is that, right? So he was so excited. He says he doesn't get a lot of Professor Tomoe stuff in general. Most people bring him stuff from Overwatch or Naruto, Bleach, things like that. He played some big name characters in those as well. Same with a couple of the Gundam shows. So he actually spoke to me in Tomoe's voice, which is kind of cool. That's an extra thing that generally you have to pay for to get him to do for you. Normally because you're recording it, whether on video or with a tape recorder, or if anybody uses those anymore. But you know, sorry. So that was really, really cool. He stood there and spoke to me in Professor Tomoe's voice, read lines right out of the show, talked to me like I was an old friend. So that was really cool and nice of him. And then I also stood in line for Todd Haberkorn, which, if you don't know who Todd Haberkorn is in general, he is such a huge name to a lot of people because he plays Natsu in Fairy Tail, which is a very, 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 very large anime and manga franchise. But for me, because I haven't actually seen Fairy Tail again, I've got a very long list of things that I gotta watch. Very, very long. But I am a huge, huge, huge clamper, which if you don't know what that means, that's somebody that really enjoys Clamp, which is a brand. It's two, I can't remember if it's sisters or friends. I'm a terrible human being. But they they do everything together. One of them draws and one of them does all of the writing and the planning for the books and stuff. So I'm really a huge Clamp fan, obviously, because I've got a lot of Cardcaptor Sakura. That is a Clamp thing as well. But so is the XXX Holic. And Todd Haberkorn does the voice for Watanuki, which is actually one of my favorite characters in the series, which also ties in with the series Tsubasa, which also has Sakura Kinomoto in it. Well, her last name's not Kinomoto, but it's Sakura. It's like an older version of Sakura from Cardcaptor, if you don't know what that is. So you'll notice the front of my book is not signed. He himself said that he hates signing the front of books because signatures can rub off, especially when the books are a little more of a slick material like most anime is. Now this one's a little rough, but he said it's just a habit now. So he thought that was more appropriate to sign the inside, which was totally fine by me. He wrote in here, keep it spooky, which is something that Watanuki walks around and saying. He walks around a lot saying that things are spooky, and that Yuna needs to quit being spooky and things like that. So he wrote keep it spooky in here and then signed it with his name, which was so awesome. He actually wasn't able to make it last year for con, which disappointed a lot of us. But this year, despite all of the complications in getting to Omaha, he busted his butt to make sure he can make it for at least one autograph signing and one panel. So that was really cool to be able to still see him despite all of the difficulties that he had going on. That was obviously really nice of him. Being VIP, you got a bunch of Anime NebraskaCon gear. Now, That's always great. A lot of people like nostalgia stuff like that. I actually don't use any of it. And I literally mean any of it. I don't wear the t-shirts very often. I don't carry the bags or use the lanyards or pins or the cup or any of that kind of crap that they give us. So a lot of this stuff just sits around and is basically junk to me. Now, it's nice of them to give out swag bags, but I wish that they were more oriented to actual things. But they're not, so I guess I'll just deal with what they give me. This is this year's t-shirt. Here's the front. I'm not a staff member, so it does not say staff, but it does have the logo for this year. And then on the back, it says Animated BrassCon 2017 right up top. And then the artwork, which was actually kind of cool this year. So you can see the giant crescent moon and then the little other details that are going on in there. I'm going to tell you right now, though, I'm not impressed that they just wrote Animated BrassCon 2017 on the back of the shirt. I think it looks ridiculous. But what are you going to do? I'm not a designer, and I don't intend to be one, so I'll just keep it and mind my own. Like last year, they gave us a lot of the stuff that says Animated BrassCon on it. Like, this is a lanyard. Newscast Animated BrassCon. This stupid clippy thing is ridiculous at the end of this lanyard. The badges that we get have holes, not slots, to stick this in. So that's just, to me, it's just silly. And it already comes as a hard plastic, so I don't see the point in protecting it by putting it in a plastic sleeve. So to me, this is ridiculous. Newsflash. They gave us, again, a little Animated BrassCon pin. And then these weird patchy thingies. Like, this has got a Velcro back on it. You can, like, stick it on stuff. I don't really know what that is. They gave us a keychain. Another pen. An actual pen. Animated BrassCon cup, which they gave us last year as well. And then this little patch thing. I'm not really sure what to do with it. I just know that it's Velcroed. So there's a front and a back. I don't know what to do with this either. They gave out anime. Now, they give out anime based off of the different selections that you like. I wrote down Cardcaptor Sakura. Brandy wrote down Sailor Moon. I don't know what Brandy got. I didn't actually look at it. They gave me Peta 10, which I've read. And sorry for all you Peta 10 fans out there, but I don't like it. So now I've got a book for a series that I already got rid of the entire series for. And then they gave out these little things. They're like badge holders. Like, you can put your badge in there. But then it's also like a wallet. Brandy used hers a lot. But again, I don't see the point in this kind of stuff. And then it's like this. You can put like, it's got a zipper pocket. You can put cash and stuff in. And then the little clear pockets you can put stuff in. I just don't see the point. And then this is like a tablet carrying case. So it comes with the neoprene. Well, I guess it's not neoprene. I don't really know what it is. The softer tablet or small laptop case. And then the bag. Brandy used this as well. She said it was very handy, but I just carried my backpack around. I didn't see the point in carrying it. It comes with a long handle. And then everything came in, which I always use these, so these are always nice to have around. WriteStuffAnime.com. They were a vendor this year and must have donated bags or to the Nebkon staff, but has their logo on it with their website. It's one of those reusable tote bags. So, like I said, I didn't get as much this year as I did in the past, but I did get a lot of really cool things despite it all. So now I've got to go through and put all of this stuff away. Stay tuned later this week, guys. Here pretty soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be this week or early next. I should be getting in my box of pre-order stuff from Japan from my proxy server. So I'm hoping to get that soon, and I'll be back online to show you all of those awesome things. All right, guys? Until next time.